Have you ever wondered who God was before time, space, or the universe existed? What or who existed before the beginning of everything? This enigma has intrigued philosophers, theologians, and spiritual seekers for millennia. Today we will delve into this unfathomable mystery, a mystery that challenges our human understanding, a mystery that could forever change the way you understand divinity and eternity. If you love God and Jesus Christ, subscribe to the channel and like it to keep exploring these deep secrets. Turn up the volume, relax, and join me on this journey into the unknown. Since the beginning of history, humanity has tried to understand the essence of God. The Bible begins with a striking statement. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. But what does "in the beginning" mean? Was there a before for God? The scriptures give us clues, but never a definitive answer. In Psalm 92 it says, "Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting you are God." This tells us that God exists outside the limitations of time, eternal and unchanging, without beginning or end. As Malachi 3:6 says, "For I, the Lord, do not change." But if God does not change and is eternal, what or who was he before creating the universe? Can we even imagine a state without time or space? The Bible reveals that God is not alone in his eternity. He exists in three persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In John 1:1 it states, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." This implies that Jesus, the Word, existed eternally with God before creation. This eternal communion of three in one is a mystery that points to a perfect relationship of love and holiness. Before creation, God was already a relational union, a being whose foundation is pure love. But what does it mean for us that God is an eternal communion? Can we understand this love that existed even before everything began? If God is eternal, self-sufficient, and unchanging, what motivated creation? Why would a being who needs nothing decide to create an infinite universe and finite beings like us? The Bible gives us a surprising answer: love. In 1 John 4:8 we read, "God is love." Creation was not a necessity but an expression of divine love, a desire to share existence, beauty, and communion. God created man and woman in his image, Genesis 1:27, to reflect his nature and live in relationship with him. But what does this really imply for our existence? Are we just a creation or part of an eternal and divine purpose? Time, for us, is a line with a beginning and an end. But for God, time is something created, and he is outside of it. In 2 Peter 3:8 we are reminded, "With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day." This means that God sees the past, present, and future all at once. His eternity is absolute and gives us the assurance that everything is under his control, beyond our temporal limitations. But this eternity also challenges us to understand how such an infinite God relates to finite beings like us. Although the origin of God is a deep mystery, the Bible shows us his visible manifestation, Jesus Christ. In John 1:14, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Jesus reveals who God is, bringing us his love and nature in human terms. He is the tangible evidence of an eternal God who decided to enter history to save us. Hebrews 13:8 states, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever." This confirms that the divine essence has not changed since before creation and remains active in our history. One of the greatest enigmas when reflecting on who God was before everything is the paradox of eternity versus time. God is eternal, without beginning or end, existing outside time, yet he is the very creator of time. This implies a reality so complex it defies all human logic. God not only transcends time but is the very cause of its existence. Imagine an instant before time, a state in which there was not even a before. How does an eternal being interact with something that is just beginning to exist? The Bible suggests that God, in his infinity, is simultaneously inside and outside of time. He sees the entire timeline as a single eternal present. In Isaiah 46:10, God says, "I declare the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come." This statement reveals that for God there is no separation between past, present, and future. This idea opens the door to even deeper reflection. If God is outside time, his decision to create the universe was not caused by any external necessity, but by a free and sovereign act, an eternal choice to manifest his love and glory. This paradox invites humility because as finite beings, we struggle to understand how a being can create time and at the same time not be limited by it. Yet this very paradox is the key to understanding divine eternity and its unfathomable mystery. To truly understand who God was before everything, it is essential to explore the mystery of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It is not three gods, but one God in three co-eternal persons, existing in perfect communion from eternity. This internal relationship of love and unity is the very heart of the divine nature. Before creation, God was not alone in a meaningless void. The Bible shows us that there was full relational life within the divinity, an eternal exchange of love and glory between the three persons. This perfect communion is the original model of all true and loving relationship. The Apostle John hints at this in his Gospel, where he describes the Word, Jesus, as eternal and with God, and the Holy Spirit as God's presence that guides and comforts. This mysterious and eternal union reveals that the essence of God is relational love, a love that requires nothing external to exist, but chose to create the universe to share that love with humanity. This mystery invites us to contemplate not only a creator God, but a God who is eternal communion and relationship, and to understand that our ability to love and relate has its deepest root in the divine nature itself. The mystery of who God was before everything is a call to humility and faith. There are secrets that belong only to God, Deuteronomy 29:29, but there are also revelations that allow us to approach and know the eternal Creator. Despite his greatness and eternity, God cares for you personally. His love is infinite, and his story with you is the most surprising of all. Now I invite you to reflect, how does your view of God change, knowing that he is eternal, unchanging, and at the same time loving and close? If you want to keep exploring these mysteries, subscribe and join me in the next video where we will dive even deeper into the enigma of divine origin.